All right, so I'm here to talk about something that's going on right now in the indie developing space. If you don't know already, Unity has unveiled a new pricing model. This pricing model is extremely problematic and has upset many people that have used Unity. And a lot of you are probably wondering, you use Unreal. Why do you even care? The reason I care is because there may be people that wish to start developing games, and Unity, honestly, for the longest time was the number one engine tool used by indie developers for I don't even know how long, until Unreal became free. And now it's kind of there. I don't know if it's a 50-50 or if Unity is still the largest tool. But definitely, it took a stake at Unity. And now, honestly, I think this is going to shoot Unity in the foot. Nobody's going to want to use their tool. I'm glad I haven't used their tool, because this pricing model is not based on revenue, it's based on installs, which is absolutely horrendous. Do you know the number of games out there that are free with Unity? Like, free with using Unity, free. And this pricing tool is going to just absolutely kill them. Now, before I get too ahead of myself, let me explain what these changes are. So Unity, I'm actually on their website, and I was reading it because I heard about it, and it sounded bad, but I went to. So basically, you'll have to pay Unity royalties after one or two things. One, the game has passed the minimum revenue threshold in the last 12 months in the game, which honestly, that first one isn't too bad. If you made a certain amount of money, yeah, you should pay. Unreal has a very similar one too. I'll get to Unreal's in a minute. But it's the second one. The game has passed a minimum lifetime install count. That is the problematic one. That doesn't matter whether your game is sold freely or sold sold at a price. If I have a game that I set to be free and it gets this minimum install count, I have to paying Unity, even though I'm not making money off the game. And this install threshold for a personal license is $200,000. I mean, 200,000 units. That doesn't also incorporate whether or not I uninstalled or reinstalled the game. If I'm the same person and I've uninstalled and reinstalled and uninstalled and reinstalled, I can actually hurt businesses that way. And if we go to their pricing is just absolutely outrageous. It's 20 cents per new install for a personal or Unity Plus license, and a 2-cent install per new install per month. When you look at all these prices, it's clearly trying to make everybody get the Enterprise or Pro licenses, not the free one. They're heavily targeting the free one, which the free one is typically used by single developers, somebody like me, making games for the very first time, either to bolster their own portfolio or to try to, make their own games, start their own little studio. And this is just heavily targeting them. They've already said they plan to dial this back some. I think they need to get rid of this minimum lifetime install count, because after the games met a minimum revenue threshold, that to me that's fair. You've made a lot of money on this game. Okay, now it's time to start paying us. And that's actually what Unreal does. Now, Unreal only has really one license. They have more pro licenses, but those pro licenses really are just for like customer support, more technical features, more free stuff on the Epic Game Store. It's not really for revenue and that kind of stuff. It just seems to, because I reread it again to make sure I knew what I was talking about. But Unreal has the one thing here: the royalty-bearing distribution. You may make other distribution of products unless described in Section 3A, which covers distributing. All distributions of the product will be subject to the terms of the attached royalty adherum. Fancy legal law. Additionally, any advance royalty payments you receive to develop such a product will be subject to the royalty medium. However, as described more fully in the, you will never owe us royalty payments under this agreement unless the product directly generates more than 1 million USD in gross revenue. This means, for example, that you will owe royalties to Epic for products that are sold to the general public, or the off-the-shelf products that sell privately to third parties which directly buy you or through a distributor or publisher. So take this in terms of me. I put my game on Steam. That Steam game makes $1 million. I owe Epic royalties. That's it. This is why so many people have been flocking to Unreal, because for a small developer like me, if I make $500,000, that's a huge deal for me, and I still don't have to pay Unreal. But under Unity's pricing, it's only $200,000. Now, I'll give it to them. $200,000 is still a lot. And, as far as royalties go, if we go to, where is there, okay. How much would you have to pay? Doesn't really say. But anyway, so $200,000, which is a lot. I'm guessing you wouldn't have to pay that much. Now, that's still a low amount. It's $1 million for Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise, which again, to me, tells me that they're trying to target the people who are using their licenses for free. Unreal is kind of doing the opposite. They're targeting the bigger companies, the ones who make over $1 million in a couple months using their free tool. This is even why larger studios like Square Enix, for example, who has recently swapped their games, especially their Kingdom Hearts games, into the Unreal Engine. And there's a couple other, like Disney uses Unreal. Disney used the Unreal to actually make The Mandalorian, funny enough. It's great because it's a free tool that you do not have to pay unless you make serious money on. And that's the kind of business model Unreal and Epic are going with it. And I'm happy for it. Unity, I don't know what Unity wants to do. Unity, I think, just wants to be more greedy and is targeting the people who honestly gave Unity a name, these small indie developers. But this means, if a lot of games I play are on itch.io, I literally just yesterday uploaded a game called Skibidi.exe, free game, right? I had to install that game to play it, right? That means I had to download that game. That is one of the 200,000 downloads and installs that developer from Skibidi Toilet has until they have to start paying. That was a free game. Now, there's a donate section, obviously on itch.io, where you can set your games to free, but donate if you want to. Now, that doesn't mean it's strictly free. They might be getting some revenue through that. But let's go on the worst case scenario that it was 100% free. If I decided to play that game 3 months down the line, I'd have to download and install it again. There's another one. And this isn't, it's a lifetime install threshold. This is the problem. Every time I install the game, I tick away at that install threshold. And it's not just me. If for instance, I hated this developer, I had a personal thing, I could sit there for hours, just install, uninstall, install, uninstall, install, uninstall, install, uninstall. And I could seriously put that entire little studio under just by doing that. Because suddenly now they have to start paying royalties on a free game. So, I don't know. I just wanted to show the differences between Unity and Unreal. I don't know if Unity's going to go through this. They're already talking about dialing back because of the absolute backlash from this. And if you are a developer, especially a small developer, maybe single or team, hop off Unity immediately. Just don't even bother with it. Because even though if they don't go with this exact model, if they slightly change it, something tells me that they are after the free personal licenses that they've been handing out for so long. They are done with the free licenses. And they're going to go to something else. I would hop onto, this is my suggestion, I'd hop onto Unreal. There's a couple other really great engines out there. I'm not trying to blow Unreal up like Unreal's the greatest. Unreal has its problems. The only thing is the reason I personally really like Unreal is one, I was taught it in college, which helps. 2, it's an amazing tool. And 3, it's starting to be picked up by more and more larger companies. It's starting to get more like industry standard. And I think that's really what Epic wants. They want to be more of an industry standard than anything. And they are slowly achieving it. Very, very slowly, but they are. So if you're interested in trying to get into the bigger leagues and that kind of stuff, and you've been using Unity for a long time, swap over to Unreal. It's not that big of a leap because you're going from C# to C++. And when I went to college, we did learn Unity. We learned Unity for 2 weeks, and then we learned Unreal for 2 weeks because at the time nobody knew where the dice were gonna fall. So the school decided to teach both of them, and it really wasn't a big leap. I personally liked Unreal more. Just felt like I could do more, and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I would hop off of Unity. If I was using Unity to make Geist right now, I would completely, even at this moment, let's say Geist, which is scheduled to release it October 10th. Let's say Geist was made in Unity. I would halt the process all together and come up with a new release date and move Geist from Unity to Unreal because of this business model. Because I could not afford for Geist to do bad under this business model. With Unreal, I can afford for it. If Geist does terrible, like 2 people download it, I only lose the Steam Direct fee. Which, if you didn't know, you have to pay $100 to Steam every time you want to release a game, which, no big deal. Anyways, long-winded rant. I just wanted to get this out there. I want other if you know anybody out there, make them aware. Tell them to go look at Unity's new pricing model. And, if you know anybody using Unity, spread the word. Maybe Unity will get rid of this altogether. I hate to be a Unity developer because Unity is a great tool. It is. I've used it. It's an amazing tool. And it was the number, I don't know if it still is. It still might be. It was the number 1 indie developer engine forever. And I can't believe that they're going to attack the one thing they had with this stupid pricing model. It's not even the revenue threshold. Like, yeah, that's kind of low. And I get it being almost completely reliant on indie developers. In order to get some money out of them, you're going to have to lower that threshold. But, it's this install. This install is absolutely outrageous. Anyways. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Like I said, just doesn't have to be this video. If there's anybody who talks about it in better detail than me, just share knowledge that this is a thing. Look up I'm gonna put both the pages for Unreal versus Unity in the description bottom below, and you guys can read in case there's anything I missed or misunderstood. Other than that, I will see you guys later.